Okay, in this video, we're going to take a little bit of a different direction here. We're still going to be discussing some quadratic equations, but we're going to take a look at certain types of equations that we can rewrite in the form of a normal quadratic equation. Um, I'm just going to show you a couple of cool tricks that you can use if you're given an equation that can utilize one of these tricks, I guess. So let's go ahead and hop into it. Let's say you're given something that looks like this. Here we have y plus 2 squared minus 10 times y plus 2 equals negative 9. Now you might see this and think, well, this seems pretty involved, pretty messy, but it really is not that bad if you have one trick. And this involves something that I call a variable substitution, okay? So this variable substitution might look a little bit weird at first, but hang with me here. So here what we're going to do is we're going to let u equal y plus 2, okay? And then anywhere we see y plus 2, we're going to substitute that with u, okay? So this new equation is going to be, since we have y plus 2 here, we're going to have u squared minus 10 times u is equal to negative 9, okay? So now we have something that looks a little bit more like a regular old quadratic equation that we're used to. So let's see if we can set it equal to 0. So if we set it equal to 0, we're going to have u squared minus 10u plus 9 is equal to 0. And now we're going to see if we can solve this quadratic equation, right? So u squared minus 10u plus 9 equals 0. We want to find two numbers that multiply together to give us 9 and add together to give us negative 10. So here I'm thinking negative 9 and negative 1. Okay, so because negative 9 times negative 1 gives us positive 9, negative 9 plus negative 1 gives us negative 10. So we have u minus 9 times u minus 1 is equal to 0. And now what we do is we set each of these equal to 0, and we replace u with y plus 2. So here we have y plus 2 minus 9 is equal to 0, and we have y plus 2 minus 1 is equal to 0. And so for this first one here, let's simplify that. Y plus 2 minus 9, that's y minus 7 is equal to 0. And here we have y plus 1 is equal to 0. And from here, we can add 7 to both sides, and we get that y is equal to 7. And here we can subtract 1 from both sides, and we get y is equal to negative 1. So your two solutions here are y equals 7 and y equals negative 1. So if you're able to do this substitution, this turns what looks like a pretty complicated equation into something that isn't too bad. Okay, now let's look at one that might not be quite as obvious, but hear me out. So here we have x to the fourth minus 37x squared plus 36 is equal to 0. Okay, so here you might say, well, this is a degree 4 polynomial here. I have no idea how we would solve this. Well, let's see if we can simplify this. So here, what we can notice is that x to the fourth is equal to x squared squared, because 2 times 2 here is going to give us 4. So what we can do is we can let u equal x squared. Okay, let's see if this will make it a little simpler here, right? So if we let u equal x squared, this will become u squared minus 37u plus 36 is equal to 0. And now this looks a lot better, right? So here we have u squared minus 37u plus 36 is equal to 0. We're going to find two numbers that multiply together to give us 36 and add together to give us negative 37. So I'm thinking we can do negative 36 and negative 1. So we have u minus 36 times u minus 1. Remember, we have negative 36 times negative 1 gives us positive 36, and negative 36 plus negative 1 gives us negative 37. We set this equal to 0. And what we do now is we set each of these equal to 0 after replacing u with x squared. So we have x squared minus 36 is equal to 0. And we have x squared minus 1 is equal to 0. So now what we do is we can have, if we add 36 to both sides, we get x squared is equal to 36. And we have here, if we add 1 to both sides, we get x squared is equal to 1. And then what we can do is we can just take the square root of each side. And over here, that's going to give us x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 36, which is just 6. So we have plus or minus 6. And then similarly here, we'll have x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 1, which is just 1. So our solutions are x equals positive and negative 6 and x equals positive and negative 1. Okay, so that's what that's going to look like. And since it's a degree 4 polynomial, that makes sense that we're going to have 4 solutions. So if you have any other questions about these, or if you need some extra help with this, please feel free to email me and let me know, and I can try to help you better pick up on the patterns for what to recognize here.